We Live in Time. So, We Live in Time, this is Florence Pugh, Andrew Garfield. Holly, tell us a little bit more about what this is.
We Live in Time is, I believe, a book adaptation,
Yep.
about the premise is that a couple meet somewhat accidentally when she
Good.
hits him with her car.
Good pun. Good pun, Holly.
Um, and they end up falling in love, and which is lovely. Uh, all of this is apparent in the trailer.
Yes, the,
And
the, the trailer gives
they
you a lot.
it does, and they have a small person, and she gets sick and is clearly you know not expected to make it. And the film is about their experience as a couple, a bit about her pleasant but not entirely conventional past, and her job. She is a chef,
Gourmet chef.
gourmet chef,
Yeah.
and the film charts their experience as a couple, in
It,
becoming parents,
it's
in awaiting death, dealing
I,
with
I,
mortality.
that's all you really need to know. It's kind of like I mean, story wise, I was speaking to superfan Nina earlier this week because she was saying she was going to see Baby Girl and she was scared. But we were talking about different films, and with We Live in Time, I essentially described this to her as it's pretty much the exact same story as the film Love Story with Ali McGraw and Ryan O'Neal. It's pretty much the exact same through line of what happens in this film. The difference is that this film is told out of order. Like everything in this film is told out of order, and it's told out of order in a way that isn't. They don't signpost it by putting like things in the on the screen by saying they don't go May 2023 or anything like that. It starts off and it just jumps around this relationship and it tells you so. I actually missed the beginning of this because there was a road work, so I don't know exactly what the first scene is, but I know that the first scene you see is not when they meet. When they meet actually comes in about 10 minutes into the film, and then it jumps into, and then all of a sudden, like you see them. You see the signpost actually helps is Florence Pugh's haircut, and Florence Pugh's hair at different points tells you, oh, this is different. This is different. Andrew Garfield pretty much looks the same throughout the
Yes.
entire film. I mean, I think at one point maybe he wears glasses, but apart from that,
Yes, but I'm not sure that that's time indicative so much as circumstance indicative.
yeah, yeah. But apart from that, he looks the same throughout. But it's Florence Pugh, and I think it's so with that, it's just a very well told romance movie. It's the fact that she grows ill and everything like that. You kind of know where this is going. You kind of know where this is. You kind of know what's going to happen. I know that there's been some controversy about it because they say that they describe her as having, was it stage 3 or stage 4 ovarian cancer, which is quite advanced. And so she has to
Yeah.
go through this aggressive treatment and everything. But I was watching the film and I was watching the film and look, based on how she looked and everything, I was like, oh, she mustn't be that sick then. I mean, because it doesn't seem to
Yeah.
affect her that much. She hasn't changed the way she looks or anything like that. And so and then after thinking that watching the film, I hear afterwards that people said, oh yeah, and there is some controversy because people are saying it kind of like makes the experience or the physical transformation of going through cancer a lot more sunshine and roses than it actually is. And
Mm.
yeah, but apart from that, I think the performances are good. I think it's a really well told thing. I think jumping around in time tells you a little bit about their story because like they have like I think like for instance there's a scene because Holly spoke about them having a kid and there's a scene of them with a kid right next to a scene of her saying I never want to have kids, and it's kind of and I think it adds something to the film. It makes it better, but I think the main thing is the performances. It really is. I would say Florence Pugh is the main character, and Andrew Garfield is, in every sense of the word, a supporting character in this film. It's all. This film is about what Florence Pugh's character Almut wants, what she wants, how she goes about it, and he's just there to sort of like help along. In it's there was a bit of there was a time there was a bit of which I was thinking is a little bit like in this film. Do you understand the term manic pixie dream girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a bit where it felt a little bit like they taken the manic pixie dream girl and made her the main character in the film, and
Yeah.
there was an element of that for me where I was like, it's like, oh, is that what they're doing here and everything like that? And then you have like the unremarkable man who usually changes the manic pixie dream girl now in the supporting role. I'm not sure if that's what they were trying to do, but it came across a bit like that. But I mean,
Mm.
I've spoken for a while now, so Holly, you say something else.
No, to me, it was very well acted.
Yes.
It was very well shot.
Mm-hmm.
I One of my cats is apparently playing with the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
It was, yeah, it was well constructed. It was well shot, but fundamentally, it was I'm not going to say a not terribly interesting tragedy rom-com. For
Mm, yeah. I mean,
and,
if it had been told linearly, I feel like we've seen this a lot of times. We've seen this story a lot of
and
times.
if it was told linearly, I would have been asleep. Um, it's um, Cinema Buddy Steph did not like it. She was
Mm,
very disappointed by it.
mm,
I I had damp eyes at one point,
mm-hmm.
but we do know that I will cry at anything, so that's not really indicative of much. But I did think it was very well put together. What I found interesting as well is that I didn't necessarily like the characters, and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure whether or not you were meant to like them, but it's
It came that came across to me as in they were just presenting new people. They were trying to present people as opposed to present sort of like
yeah,
romance movie archetypes. So
yeah,
yeah, which means that there are things about where you think, oh, for goodness sake, how stupid are you? There's one line reading that Andrew Garfield gives. It has to do with Weetabix that I
yes.
was so annoyed by. I was like, why are you taking so long to say this line? Just spit it out. What the heck is wrong with you? And but but yeah, it's yeah, but I personally, if I was going for a star rating, I think round about a three, maybe sneaking into a four, but it's
Um,
on that borderline. But I think if I had to, I think I'll probably give it a three.
Middle of the road three.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nicely put together um film with a good cast who were not they were good, but they didn't. It wasn't a spectacular performance by either of them because we've seen them be so amazing in other things.
Mm.
That they did a perfectly decent job of a perfectly reasonable story that was not terribly remarkable. And it was a if all you're after in life is a slightly interestingly told, yeah, tragedy rom-com in a bit of a different order and that gives you a little bit of thinking, then it is
And,
an enjoyable film to watch.
and as you said, misty eyes at some point. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
you
I
have to,
would.
and I have to say, with all that being said, the scene in the petrol station,
It's very
this
fun,
the scene in the petrol station, I think is an all timer. I think like the scene in the petrol station, if there's anything that stands out from this film, it's the scene in the petrol station.
but it left me with so many questions.
But
So many, which
let
we
me
will not
guess.
go
Let me
into
guess.
now.
What happened with that
Oh,
car that you left on the street?
yes, yes.
I did have that question.
That
I did.
bothered me intensely.
Yeah,
What happened?
yeah. What happened to that car? Because
Yeah, what were
there
the
was
impact on the other people who the
because
film was
there was no
about?
way around that car. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean because I was having the
it
same
made me
questions myself.
cross. I was like, you people are selfish.
As we said, they're not particularly likable, and
No.
but it's also one of
But
those
it was
films.
a good film. It was a watchable film. If
Yeah,
somebody were looking for a sort of romancy, sad film to watch, I would say absolutely go for it if you're looking for something that's going to be, you know,
game changing.
inspiring, game changing.
Yeah,
This is not your film, but
yeah,
not every film needs to be that.
yeah. I
Uh,
agree. Although it's one of those films that makes London look really good. Like makes London look
oh,
really romantic, especially the Herne Hill area. A bit like well,
yes.
there's this and there's Rye Lane. I don't know if you guys have seen Rye Lane. And
No.
Rye Lane does that for Peckham. It gives London the before sunrise sort of treatment, and you just kind of go, yeah, maybe London's not that bad. Yeah, maybe I should. Yeah, but anyway, that is that for 3 stars for We Live in Time. And